All right, chat. The darkest Family Guy episode, and this shit was banned. Oh god. I'm not good at intros. This shit was banned from TV. All right, lock in with me, bro. And don't tell me it was the fucking. It couldn't have been like a Simpsons Family Guy episode because that shit aired. But lock in with me, chat.
In the early 2000s, a literal cartoon war broke out. Writers of The Simpsons, South Park, King of the Hill, and Ren and Stimpy were all attacking Seth MacFarlane's Family Guy. But it's not.
Damn. Why? I feel like Family Guy was just doing its thing, man. Damn, why? Damn, is that Seth MacFarlane before everything? Shit.
Hard to see why they were upset. Family Guy was successful by repeating the same lazy comedic formula over and over again for decades, leading to 9 Primetime Emmy Awards and even a Grammy nomination. With tensions at an all-time high against Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane finally decided to respond to the criticism, and as a result, he created one of the most controversial episodes in animation history. It was so bad that the Fox network refused to air it on live TV, and many lost respect for Seth MacFarlane forever.
What about South Park?
They can go to hell.
Seth MacFarlane had a dark sense of humor, and he wanted to push the boundaries in the animation industry. As a kid, he was obsessed with cartoons like the Flintstones and Woody Woodpecker. He would spend hours drawing and studying these classic animated shows. By the time he was 9, he was already publishing a weekly comic strip for his local newspaper. But unlike other aspiring animators who were writing kid-friendly cartoons, MacFarlane's humor was intentionally offensive. He wasn't interested in heartwarming stories. He wanted to stir the pot with edgy jokes.
Did he get in any trouble for his drawing?
Yeah.
What kind of stuff?
He was the cartoonist for the school paper, and the character in his cartoon is taking communion. The comment underneath said, "Could I have fries with that, please?"
And Seth can still remember how a local priest reacted to that cartoon.
Dear Seth, shame on you for insulting the Almighty God and those who love him.
After studying animation at the Rhode Island School of Design, MacFarlane caught the attention of Hanna-Barbera Productions with his thesis film, Life of Larry.
Is it too much for a kid to just call his parents if he's going to be out late? You know, I mean, especially in a city like this, it ain't
Wow, you can hear a young Peter. That's crazy. I don't really watch a lot of Family Guy nowadays, but they're still making new episodes and shit. You feel me?
You know,
Chad, what's your favorite adult animation? South Park is #1 for me, man.
Lois, I mean, even in this apartment, I mean, some nut in his underpants could just walk in off the street, bang on the door, and demand God knows what.
You guys have any Cheez-Its?
Honey, I think we should move.
During his time at Hanna-Barbera, he helped write and animate legendary cartoons like Johnny Bravo and Dexter's Laboratory. And
He swear to fucking God, Seth MacFarlane like animated my childhood.
he helped write and animate legendary cartoons like Johnny
He helped write and animate Johnny
Bravo and Dexter.
And fucking that I should have known. I should have known this was the work of that nigga, bro. There's no way Dexter's mom was that caked up. Hey, listen, bro. Y'all saw it. We all saw this fucking cartoon. Dexter's mom did not have no fucking reason having that much of a bakery back there, man. But I wasn't complaining.
Dexter's Laboratory. And while most animators work behind the scenes for years before ever getting the opportunity to share their own projects, MacFarlane just kind of skipped the line. He pitched a crude, low-budget cartoon about a dysfunctional family featuring an alcoholic dad, a talking dog, and a violent baby to various networks, and Fox took a gamble on him. In 1999, Family Guy was born, making Seth MacFarlane the youngest showrunner in television history. But what nobody knew at the time was that this show would go on to change the animation landscape and make Seth one of the most hated men in the industry. Over the years, Family Guy has been called many things from iconic to offensive, but if there's one word that keeps coming up, it's lazy. I enjoy Family Guy because it's something you can watch and laugh at without thinking. It has a formula, and that formula is easy to digest and laugh at without needing to pay attention. It's a good background show, something to listen to when doing something else. If you're going to
This is literally the perfect way to describe it, bro. I feel like anytime I need like a show to just like pop on and watch, if I don't feel like really watching or doing shit, I'm either turning on Family Guy or like American Dad or some shit, bro. Family Guy is #1 because it's literally a good background show. It is a very good background show. It's not like I'm doing shit. If I'm not doing shit, Family Guy's coming
To
straight
expect a story, don't try to expect it from Family Guy. That's missing the point. Much of the criticism towards Family Guy is that the show has a repetitive formula, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. A large amount of the episodes are basically Peter does something stupid, Brian and Stewie go on some weird side quest, Meg gets bullied for no reason, and every few minutes they put in a random cutaway gag that has absolutely nothing to do with the story.
I thought I could deal with being blind at first, but I don't know. I haven't felt this out of place since that week I lived with Superman.
We must stop Lex Luthor before he irradiates the world's supply of gold.
Sorry. I know you got a meeting going on, but we are officially running low on Mr. Pibb and Cheez-Its. Just putting it out there. If you're heading to the store later, 800-mile drive for me, like 5 seconds for you.
Critics believe Family Guy doesn't rely on good storytelling or deep character arcs, and instead fires off quick, easy, and pointless jokes. Some hit, some miss, but it doesn't really matter because the show moves so fast that nobody has time to care. Family Guy's cutaway gags used to enhance the quality of the overall episode, making the show's style unique, but over time they stopped being objectively funny and became random for the sake of being random.
Yeah.
Peter, when did you become so polite?
Oh, I've been hanging out with Caillou's beta dad. In fact, I'm meeting him at the park to eat unsalted saltines on the swings. I feel like you're wearing what Rachel Maddow would wear to a pumpkin patch.
As the years went on, many thought that the show was using these gags as a way to fill up their time slot and maybe...
Okay, but here's the thing, bro. Why is it always like, I get motherfuckers want to send hate or... Actually, no, I don't get that. Because, like, bro, I feel like, yes, if you get the point of the shit, you get it and everything, like, why do you really want to fucking complain? Who gives a shit? If motherfuckers really enjoy really watching Family Guy, do you niggas really care? Like, are you really this upset over this shit?
make up for poor writing. We know for sure this is how The Simpsons creator Matt Groening felt.
Nigga, ain't nobody really even watching The Simpsons anymore. No disrespect to bro, it's just there's not many people really saying like I'm fucking with The Simpsons nowadays, bro. Like, listen, gang, are they even still making episodes? Like I said, not to be, but what was I going to say? Fucking Family Guy. Like, I get how some animators are pissed off because it's like, say I'm putting in hella effort and work for this fucking animated show or like this animation, and I'm getting beat out by Family Guy who just has lazy ass writing. You feel me? I can understand their side of this coin.
Because he did not shy away from blatantly making fun of Family Guy.
I feel like this is funny too. You niggas collabed. They literally, yeah, Family Guy and The Simpsons literally had a collab together though.
In front of their millions of viewers. At the start of 1999, Family Guy made its debut on Fox while The Simpsons was already on its 11th season. Immediately, the two shows were competing for viewers on the same network, with Family Guy pulling similar numbers to The Simpsons. The Simpsons officially ignited the beef in the episode Treehouse of Horror.
This is where they shine. Now, Simpsons, motherfucker, this is that because the Treehouse of Horrors, I'm always gonna watch. Nigga, they will always hit every time.
Episode, Homer discovers how to clone himself, but his attempts were not perfect. Some of the clones came out looking off. As the camera pans across the field of cloned Homers, one of them looks like Peter Griffin. Seth MacFarlane realized that this was Groening accusing Peter Griffin of being a copy of Homer Simpson, and that accusation is not too far from the truth. The Simpsons pioneered adult animation in the mainstream, proving that animated shows could appeal to more than just kids and can oftentimes be edgy and controversial. And the genius behind the show was Matt Groening. Unlike Seth MacFarlane, who had a degree in animation, Matt Groening was just a self-taught hobbyist trying to make ends meet with his cartoons. In the late 70s, he was living in Los Angeles, barely scraping by, drawing and selling his own self-published magazine called Life in Hell. After his cartoon got the attention of Hollywood producer James Brooks, who produced talk shows and small TV shows, he asked Groening to make short animated skits for The Tracy Ullman Show, which resulted in Groening creating a batch of characters for these segments called The Simpsons.
Here we have Bart Simpson, the young lad who captured the notorious candy store bandit. How does it feel to be a hero, Bart?
Pretty damn good, Phil.
Dude, I fucking hated the older, like, version of The Simpsons. Like, bro, they look so weird. I get, like, they were, but Jesus.
Family must be proud of you right now.
I bet they're jumping up and down. Whoa!
What started out as shorts on a sketch comedy show in 1987 quickly turned into a full-length series by 1989, and from the moment it premiered, it was an instant cultural sensation. The Simpsons wasn't just another cartoon, it was the cartoon. The show took the classic family sitcom formula seen in popular shows like The Cosby Show and flipped it on its head. Instead of a picture-perfect suburban family, you had Homer, who is a beer-drinking, insane father that often physically abuses his son. Marge is a tired mother constantly trying to hold the family together. Bart is a preteen-aged menace that lives to cause chaos. Lisa is a misunderstood genius in a messed-up family. And Maggie is a baby who doesn't talk too much but has a lot of personality. And not to mention the people of Springfield, which is filled with seemingly an endless list of side characters that fans would slowly get to know over the years, such as Ned Flanders, Krusty the Clown, Sideshow Bob, Snake, Professor Frank, and so many others.
I'll say there's a lot of characters in this motherfucker. I forgot who the fuck like I love the most out of the side characters. I think I did fuck with Sideshow Bob and Bart's beef. That shit was low-key kind of cool. Damn. This show is this shit still running?
What made The Simpsons revolutionary was how it could go from making fun of politics and pop culture to having genuine interactions that made the characters feel real. Like, these weren't just wacky cartoon characters, they represented people that you knew in your real life. It wasn't just about gag humor, it was about telling great stories that happened to be hilarious. And it worked. By the early 90s...
See, I feel like that's your niggas' problem. Some motherfuckers like the gag. I personally will, you know, I enjoy gag humor sometimes, but nigga, yes, if you can tell a joke, I'm fucking with it. But my nigga, some people like the gag humor. Who cares? You feel me? I'm not saying like don't get lazy and just write and do gag humor, but some niggas, this isn't gag humor, but some niggas enjoy gag humor.
The Simpsons was the most watched show on television, with viewership peaking at 15 to 20 million viewers per episode. Family Guy, on the other hand, was canceled twice in its first 3 seasons, probably because many people felt it was the inferior copy of The Simpsons. However, they came back stronger than ever due to massive DVD sales and high ratings on reruns. The senior vice president of Fox Home Entertainment said, Family Guy had proved an unexpected success on DVD as well. The first boxed set of episodes has sold 1.55 million, ranking number 3 among television shows behind the first season of The Simpsons on Fox and Chappelle's Show on Comedy Central. After the show came back on air in 2005, it dominated, with the 4th season averaging 7.9 million viewers per episode, which at the time was more than twice as many viewers as South Park. And looking back on season 4, it's easy to see why it performed so well.
He takes the beam. The spectators hold their breath, as Stewie Griffin is America's last hope to take home the gold. Oh, did you see that, Mitch? I sure did, Kathy. That was impressive.
Season 4 is called by some peak Family Guy. It was paced well, funny, and just the right amount of offensive. The cutaways were tasteful, adding to the chaos without taking away from the story. And during Family Guy's resurgence in popularity, The Simpsons writers decided it was the perfect time to diss them once again. In season 17, episode 8 of The Simpsons, 2 Italian police officers are flipping through a book of known criminals. As they skip through the mugshots, you can see a picture of Peter Griffin with the crime of plagiarismo, which means plagiarism in Italian. The diss could not be more clear.
Nigga, them's is Kendrick level shots. Them's is like nigga, he point blank drew your mans out in every... I'm sorry, I'm invested now, bro. I'm invested too heavy into this shit. Hold on.
Again, claiming that Family Guy is stealing the premise of The Simpsons. They also threw a bonus jab in at American Dad.
No, okay, no. I feel like American Dad, this is what I mean by The Simpsons are doing way too much, because I do not personally feel like they watched American Dad. American Dad is nothing like The Simpsons. This nigga's he's not an alcoholic. Roger is. On top of that, they have many... Yeah, bro, you can't really throw shots. See, this is where, if I was American Dad, I'm sending straight shots at The Simpsons, because this shit doesn't make any... You're just throwing my name in it to literally just throw my name in it. You feel me?
which is Seth MacFarlane's other show, essentially saying they are a copy of a copy. And while these jabs feel like The Simpsons play fighting with Family Guy, South Park came out of nowhere and dropped an absolute bomb on them. A diss that was so brutal that multiple writers in the animation industry personally thanked them for attacking MacFarlane. Matt Stone and Trey Parker were just two film school.
And listen, bro, Matt Stone, Trey Parker, and they're working with Kendrick for like a new movie. But shout out both of these niggas, bro. I love South Park. It's amazing, bro. Shout out to
kids from the University of Colorado who couldn't care less about what other people thought of their humor. They both believed that comedy could be as offensive and brutally honest as possible while also having a great story. In 1992,
y'all, my hair is just everywhere and it's in my face a little bit.
Matt and Trey met on the set of a student project. To pass time in between takes, they would do voices for each other trying to make the other one laugh, and they instantly became best friends.
You do eating sounds? Oh, yeah.
That's a cuttlefish and That's a cuttlefish and asparagus is not sitting well. Oh, no. Cuttlefish.
It was this episode.
Cuttlefish is about to come out of my... Oh, here it comes. Oh, it's going to be a rat. Hold on, Kader.
Shout out to these niggas. I really thought it was other people doing it, bro. Shout out to these niggas, man.
I believe in you.
I love this episode.
At the end of every semester, the film department put on a student screening, and since it was right before Christmas, they needed something Christmassy. So Matt and Trey decided to use construction paper cutouts to animate characters and make their first short together called Jesus First Frosty, which would lay the foundation for what we now know as South Park. After college, both Matt and Trey moved to LA, where they would meet Fox executive Brian Graydon at a screening of their indie film, Cannibal the Musical. Brian loved their style so much, he decided to help spread their work around the industry. After some back and forth negotiations with companies like Fox and MTV, Comedy Central decided to greenlight the first episode of South Park. Although it is still in the adult animation genre, South Park takes a different approach than Family Guy and The Simpsons. South Park is all about creativity and unpredictability. One week, the elementary-aged kids are dealing with normal school drama, and the next, they're fighting a war against gnomes stealing people's underwear. And yet, that's still not even the craziest situation these kids have gotten into.
Do you like it?
Oh my god, yes, bro. Cartman is a little asshole. Let's say that, bro. Like, this nigga... Gang. I ain't gonna lie, I would have to murder this little motherfucker. I don't get... He made him eat his... Bro, that's different levels of get back. That's like, I'm gonna have to catch a body. And this little fat motherfucker, his head would be somewhere in the dirt, bro.
You like it, Scott? I call it Mr. and Mrs. Tenorman chili. Oh my god! Oh my god! I made you eat your parents.
South Park instantly turned Comedy Central from a struggling cable network to a network powerhouse, pulling in between 3.1 and 5.5 million viewers per episode. By season 2,
nigga, the Tom Cruise episode will always be the funniest one, along with the fucking episode where Eric gets his ass kicked by Wendy, bro. That Tom Cruise episode, I will always laugh my ass off of that shit.
It was breaking records. On April 22nd, 1998, the episode Cartman's Mom is Still a Dirty pulled in 6.2 million viewers, making it the highest rated non-sports show in cable history at the time. To put it into perspective, 8 of the 10 most watched shows on cable that spring were South Park episodes. In just over 1 year, Trey Parker and Matt Stone took over cable TV. They also developed a seething hatred for Family Guy. When asked about how he feels about Seth MacFarlane's empire, Trey Parker said, "There's more and more stuff every day finding its way onto American television that I think is really great. But then you get this bubblegum shit that's just like by the book, what we call 9-to-5 comedy writers. They mostly have families and kids, and that's the most important thing. And then they go into work and write comedy, and when it's 5 o'clock, it's time to go. It's gag humor. And gag humor drives us crazy, where it's just like, here's a gag, here's a gag. It's got nothing to do with what's going on in the show, just like, here's a gag. And anyone who writes comedy knows that that is the very easiest, simplest thing to do, and you don't really need any talent to do it. You just need to learn the craft and do it. Similar frustrations were expressed by John Kricfalusi, the creator of the iconic cartoon Ren and Stimpy. If you're
motherfucker, yo, see, Ren and Stimpy, bro, nigga, your actual cartoon, I don't know if it was an adult animation, but motherfucker, wasn't your cartoon supposed to literally be for children? I could be wrong, because, bro, they pulled some episodes of Ren and Stimpy completely off there.
If you're a kid wanting to be a cartoonist today, and you're looking at Family Guy, you don't have to aim very high. You can draw Family Guy when you're 10 years old. You don't have to get any better than that to become a professional.
I drew Stewie when I was around 15 years old. Around, like, when I was very young, so he is not wrong.
Cartoonist. The standards are extremely low. Tensions in the animation industry were at an all-time high, with more people speaking out against Family Guy than ever. So in 2006, Matt and Trey decided to escalate the tension to a full-blown war. South Park released a 2-part episode titled Cartoon Wars. In the episode, Cartman really wants to sabotage Family Guy because he hates their lazy gag writing. As Cartman arrives to the Fox Network writing room, he is shocked to learn that Family Guy is written by manatees who pick random idea balls from a tank. Each ball contains a verb, noun, or pop culture reference, which the manatees choose an idea ball and swim it over to the joke combine. South Park essentially proves how formulaic and ridiculous Family Guy jokes are by assembling 5 idea balls that say laundry, date, winning, Mexico, Gary Coleman.
Peter, you didn't do the laundry today.
You think that's bad? Remember the time I won a date to Mexico with Gary Coleman?
¿Qué pasa? Shit. Them niggas hit you. Them niggas definitely did hit you. They swung for your stupid, because that's literally how this is literally how a Family Guy episode would actually go to.
Peter, you didn't do the laundry today.
You think that's bad? Remember the time I won a date to Mexico with Gary Coleman?
¿Qué pasa, señores? What you talking about, Willis?
When this episode released, millions of people around the world witnessed South Park brutally minimize Family Guy's value to the entertainment industry. And it turns out, Matt Stone and Trey Parker were not the only ones in the industry who hated Family Guy.
After the first part aired, we got calls from people at The Simpsons saying thank you, because they actually hate Family Guy more than we do, even though they won't say it. And then we got calls from people that work on King of the Hill saying
I definitely do not want to hear King of the Hill animators talk. No one, and I mean, I don't give a fuck what you say. I tried to get into King of the Hill. That shit sucked. It always sucked. It will remain suck. You have to be a certain type of motherfucker to actually enjoy King of the Hill. And I promise you, if you enjoy there's something completely wrong. I'm sorry, bro. I can't rock with King of the Hill, bro. It's so god. It's just so bad, bro. You want to talk about lazy fucking writing? Look at King of the Hill. Okay, listen. I get Family Guy's gag humor. I do. I get it. That shit, you feel me? King of the Hill is just fucking boring. There's nothing funny about it. There's like, oh, dude.
He said, quote, "You're doing God's work by ripping on Family Guy." And like, because Family Guy is kind of this, it's like the Justin Timberlake thing. It's like when you're a musician and you're doing your stuff and you're working hard and you're trying to do art, and then Justin Timberlake comes along and just rakes in all the cash and everyone thinks he's awesome. You're like, dude, come on, that's not that good.
Up until this point, McFarlane never really responded to the jabs and criticism towards his show, but this attack was too big to ignore. Ironically, he didn't fire back at South Park. Instead, he shifted his anger towards his original haters, The Simpsons. However, many believe he took it too far, and this joke nearly destroyed his reputation forever. In a 2007 Family Guy episode titled Moving Out, at the bottom of the screen appeared
How? Nah. How is this deliberately taking it too far? I do remember this, because she ends up fucking... Oh, wait, ooh, no. This is taking it too far, because I think Quagmire got weird. Never mind, Quagmire's a weirdo. Never mind. I take it back.
There's a bumper for The Simpsons, with a miniature Marge waving to the audience. Because both shows air on Fox, this could have easily been mistaken for a genuine promo. Then miniature Quagmire runs over and attempts to essay Marge.
Yeah.
She fights him off and dashes off screen, but then Quagmire with his pants around his ankles chases after her. Then it cuts to
That's why I was like, hold on, my nigga, my bad for pausing a lot, bro. It's just I'm too interested in this shit. But that's why I was like, oh shit, yeah, my bad, because I had to remember it for a second. It's Quagmire, and then I remember what the fuck happened.
Shot outside of the Simpsons' home, where we can hear Marge and Quagmire having sex in the parents' bedroom. Homer then walks in, catching them, shocked. And from there, you can hear Quagmire shoot and kill the entire Simpsons family.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
You shot my homie! I'm calling the police!
So, Simpsons R-word and murder. Yeah, that got dark real fast. This scene was so brutal, it actually never made it to live TV. The only reason we ever got to see this scene was because it was included in the Family Guy DVD box set. Also on the DVD, Seth MacFarlane does a director's commentary where he discusses this specific scene.
If I'm not mistaken, like I said, my bad for pausing. I'm just like, I remember seeing this shit on TV though. This specific scene I saw on TV. Like the whole thing.
Doubling down that he feels this joke was not too far and it should have been aired.
I'm not going to be diplomatic because what happened here was fucking bullshit. This is a gag I got a call from the network saying, you can't do this. You cannot do this gag. And with The Simpsons, and I said, why not? They've made fun of Family Guy like 5 times,
they called you a plagiarist.
which they're entitled to do. I mean, they make fun of everyone, and so do we. So what's why can't we take a little shot at them? And they said, well, because we want to end the feud. And I said, well, what feud? What are you talking about? I had talked with Matt Groening, who has a wonderful sense of humor about this stuff. And, there's no feud. And plus it's...
We actually have had a couple of writers, Simpson writers, who have written for Family Guy, Richard Pell and Brian Scott.
Yeah, I mean, it's, they've taken many shots at us, again, all of which have been funny. And Fox said, well, this seems a little personal. And I said, well, how could it be any more personal than a picture of Peter Griffin on a wanted poster that says plagiarist?
They made fun of me. Why can't I make fun of them? Seth, you shot a baby. Likely due to the network just wanting the beef to be over, both Family Guy and The Simpsons stopped taking jabs at each other for a while. Allegedly, Matt Groening was upset with Seth for many years after this, and although Seth MacFarlane never apologized for this explosive joke, he has been very honest about his admiration for The Simpsons and Matt Groening.
And The Simpsons guys don't like you either, right?
That's more of a friendly rivalry. They take shots at us, we take shots at them. Matt Groening is a friend of mine. He's a great guy. That's more of like a, all in good fun kind of thing.
He even wrote a line in a Family Guy episode essentially admitting to stealing from The Simpsons.
Get up! You're on my side of the bed. Peter!
We act like we didn't take a lot from The Simpsons. We took a lot from The Simpsons.
They seemed to make amends by doing an official Simpsons and Family Guy crossover episode in 2014. However, there was still a tiny bit of tension behind the scenes. In the end, everyone from both camps loved it, except maybe Seth MacFarlane. The running theme of the episode was that Family Guy stole everything from The Simpsons. They made this point over and over and over and over. Apparently, at some point, Seth told his staff, guys, enough. It's clear that Seth MacFarlane does hold The Simpsons in high regard, but he also believes he deserves his respect. After all, Family Guy did win 9 Primetime Emmy Awards and is loved by millions of fans around the world. And it's actually because of this success that the South Park creators are jealous and hold resentment towards him, with Trey Parker saying, "The biggest thing is that you put everything into your show. It's like you've got to die for it. When you're an artist, you've got to say to yourself, this is all that matters."
It's literally like I was just saying. It's like when you see it from the people who put any and everything into this shit, you do see it from their side, and it's like, bro, motherfuckers can literally just spit on a napkin or some shit, right? And say like they air it and people find that funny, and it's like, bro, all it is spit on a napkin. What the fuck? And it wins awards and shit. You see it from this side of their coin, bro. 100%. That's why it's like, I would see why they're pissed off.
and if it kills me, so be it. And
so let me get this straight. The whole dark episode was just that part. That's it. I'm thinking, what the fuck? Cause I seen niggas talking about a DVD. No, I literally saw that shit live. Like, not live, but like I saw it on TV.
Then you have the Family Guy writing staff who come in 9 to 5, write their gags, and go home. But what I absolutely must say to you is that this totally, purely 100% completely comes from a place of jealousy. Because when we're sitting there in our room, it's 3 in the morning and we're 12 hours from having to air, and we don't have like a third act, wondering why we do this to ourselves. We're just totally jealous of their job. At the end of the day, these shows are all completely different styles of comedy, and whichever one you love the most is just down to personal preference, and they all will be considered legendary in the history of adult animation.
That literally, just find whatever you want to find and watch whatever you want to watch, bro. Because wow, that was wow.